Let's discuss on the undesirable effects of weeds. The effort to eliminate weeds from agriculture field has been a continuous battle since the beginning of agriculture. Traditional agriculture practices that use culture and laborious physical activities to control weed infestations, including transplanting, extensive tillage, hand weeding, and vigilant seed selection. However, weeds continue to be a threat in agriculture industry despite the shift to application of new technologies. The new millennium has witnessed the change in agriculture practices from self-production to money-making industry that leads to implementation of new technology and approaches in weed control. The worldwide replacement of tall traditional crops with semi-dwarf cultivars, the widespread use of herbicides and fertilizers, and alterations of cropping systems from transplanting to direct seeding have modified the mode of weed infestation. According to the United States Environmental Protection or EPA, the expenditure on pesticides in the world reached $39.4 billion. Okay, with herbicides accounted for about 40% of this total amount, 40% for almost $40 billion a year. Okay, and this is only for in 2007. It can reach to $39.4 billion. And this is followed by the expenditure for insecticides, fungicide, and other pesticides respectively. This report also stated that expenditure on herbicide in US in 2007 accounted approximately 38% of the world expenditure, and the amount was increased from 7 billion in 1988 to $12.5 billion in 2007. The introduction of 2,4-D in 1946 has effectively controlled broad-leaved weeds in crop fields and has led many agricultural companies to invest in the herbicide research to uncover new chemicals for controlling different crops and weed species because of the low cost. Up to now, more than 250 active ingredients are available commercially. Economically, this helps farmers to increase profit margins by effectively eliminating the weed interference in their agro-ecosystems. However, recently, the concern about massive use and newly introduced herbicides with multiple modes of action has led to the evolution of weeds resistant to herbicides. The case of herbicide-resistant weed was first reported in 1957 when certain weeds were observed to be resistant to 2,4-D. Okay. Other cases include the resistance to synthetic auxins in 1997, 40 years after their introduction. Glyphosate resistance was reported at 25 years after its introduction. Triazine had only one resistant species in 1970, but by 1996, more than 50 weeds were observed to be resistant to triazine, and the list has expanded further, including the emergence of ALS inhibitor resistant, which become a serious problem in United States because there is no alternative herbicides with different mode of action. Okay, today, no less than 316 biotypes belonging to 183 weed species comprising 110 dicots and 73 monocots at over 290,000 fields are resistant to herbicides. Okay, some of For instance, the increase of the resistance to Roundup, one of the types of the herbicide commercially in the world, increased exponentially here since 1997 up to, this is only for up to 2010. And weed resistant to more than one mode of action, which means simply say that one weed is resistant to more than one herbicide. Okay, there's a simple terms for a layman. We will discuss about mode of action later in this course. So that weeds that resistant to more than one mode of actions increase rapidly, sharper than this one. This is from 1980 to 2010. And here are some more examples of number of herbicide-resistant species by crop and percentage of herbicide-resistant species by weed families. The undesirability of weeds most frequently focuses on their deleterious effects on crops, whether measured by loss in yield, loss in quality, or the added costs of weed control. The economic consequences of crop losses are staggering. What is often overlooked is that weeds also can harm human activities, health, and properties. And as we have already mentioned, they can seriously disrupt the functioning and biodiversity of natural areas. So first, what impacts do weeds have on our urban landscapes? Remember that weeds are very opportunistic. They will compete for resources such as water, nutrients, light, and even space when they get the chance. Because of the management, weeds can increase costs to local government for beautification. Weeds can just plain ugly to look at. Weeds make a good habitat for rodents, pathogens, and insects that can harm humans. In some cases, weeds can threaten life and property. We may see weeds as harmful, but weeds are not as innocent as they look. They can evolve, and they have. Here are some scenes of how weeds have seriously infested agricultural land in Malaysia. So here are some of the landscapes. Rice production in Malaysia also has been infested by various weed species. What do you see in the movie or drama or telefilm is really not representation of the real scenario of rice field. Here, what do you see? Actually, 58 weed species in Muda rice granary is already reported. 39 weed species in Tanjung Karang and 40 weed species in Seberang Perak. This is only in the rice field. So, next in class, I want you guys to discuss on how weeds impact the agriculture based on this area. How the weeds impacts on loss of yield, loss of quality, harbor other pests, interfere with harvesting, increase processing of harvested crop, and increase transportation costs. Give me some examples, what you have read, what you have heard, or what you have seen from the news, from your general knowledge, etc. Hopefully, I can get some fruitful ideas from you.